Hey yo, what up though? It's your boy Brad, B-Rad Butler II, and welcome to another edition of Lit Motivation, #LitMo. Alright, let's get into it. I'm just gonna be as transparent as possible with you, right? Because I'm one of those people where I hate to tell people or try to help people with certain things that I have not gone through. So that's something that I just cannot do. My heart won't allow me to do it, to go out and tell people you can do certain things or you can make this happen or this or that, or give advice on things that I have no knowledge of, things I've never gone through, right? So the thing I want to talk to you about today is the situation that I dealt with, right? So most of you already know, if you've been following me and you've heard my story, right? You know about the things I've gone through. Like, I was a special ed kid. I had a hard time in school grasping information. I had low self-esteem when I was younger. I dealt with depression, anxiety, when I had to take tests and things of that nature. My parents, we had a rough upbringing as far as me and my sister. Like, my mother and my father, they were both heroin addicts. And all these different things that happened, right, within our family and in my life, like, I constantly would blame other people. Like, I constantly would blame my mother and my father for the decisions that they made. I would blame, my grandmother, for not helping me with certain things or not being there for certain things. I would blame my mother and my father for separating the family and me having to move from one area to the next. I would blame, the school and then the counselors for putting me in special ed classes and me being stuck in there and them not listening to me and not believing in my learning abilities. Like, all these different things. I would blame coaches because they'll say, "Oh, you're discriminating against me because I'm smaller than everybody else. You don't think that I could play at a high level." All these different things, right? I was playing the blame game. Like, what I need you to understand right now is that you got to stop playing the blame game. Like, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in your life, and things aren't always going to go your way. But if you continue to play the blame game, nothing is ever going to change. When things actually started to change for me in my life, it was because I stopped playing the blame game. And even when there were situations where I did not have control, where somebody did me wrong, it was a circumstance that I had no control over, I realized that there was a portion of it where I actually did have control of my life. And there were certain things that I could do to change the outcomes, right? So what I started doing was literally taking control over the areas that I had control over. And a great coach told me a long time ago, Brad, Coach Dan Garrett from Kane University, he told me, he said, "Brad," he said, "if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change the way that you think about it." And that's what I started to do. Anything that I could get my hands on that I could actually change, that I could have an impact on, right? I did it. And I worked to the best of my ability to make sure that I was able to change those things and have the outcomes that I was looking for, right? And if it was something that I was not able to change, then I'll change the way that I looked at it. I couldn't do anything about the fact that my parents had a situation in their past where they were dealing with drugs. I had no control over the fact that I was so young and we dealt with poverty. I had no control over the fact that I had to move, right? I had no control over the fact that I was stuck in the special ed classes when I was there. Like, I had no control over some of those areas, but what I did have control over was the way that I thought about it, right? And what I could do when it no longer had a hold on me. When I was no longer in the special ed classes and I graduated from high school and I went into college, I said, I can prove them wrong. I can study harder. I can work longer. Like, if I'm dealing with an issue where I don't have money, I can put in more hours. I can work harder. I can do whatever I feel like is going to be necessary to get me out of this situation, to get me out of this hole. But if I continue to play the blame game, nothing was ever going to change. And I was literally just going to be stuck. And I was going to just be dealing with whatever circumstances came my way that life threw at me, because I wasn't doing anything about it. I was just letting it happen. Like, I was just letting life hit me with all the punches, and then eventually you gonna get knocked out. But I decided that I was gonna make a change, and I was gonna do something different. I wasn't gonna keep, playing the victim role anymore. That I was gonna stand up and I was gonna say, you know what? Just because my life started a certain way, it doesn't have to be like this forever. I can change this. And just imagine what would happen and what they'll say after I show them that I could actually change this. That I can go from somebody who a situation where I felt like I started from nothing and turn into something. Like, literally. Like, I believed that it was possible for me to actually change my life and be something greater. I literally believed that I was not what everyone perceived me to be. Like, literally, people will tell you what your life is supposed to be, and because you have a certain background, that you are only limited to certain things. But listen to me right now. What I'm here to tell you is that my imagination is not limited by somebody else's reality. You gotta hear me on this. You gotta hear me on this. Once you stop playing the blame game and you start realizing what you can do, like, you literally stop worrying about what other people are saying. And only thing that you're focused on at that time is what you want. What you want out of your life and what you're willing to go through in order to get it, the sacrifices that you're willing to make. So listen to me when I say stop playing the blame game. If you want something, you can have it. All you have to do is be willing to take ownership. Take ownership of your life. Take ownership of the decisions that you make. And start making the changes right here, right now. That's it. That's it. Right here, right now. You can make the change. Do whatever it is that you want to do. But the first thing you got to do is you got to stop playing the blame game. You got to let it go. Whatever it was in the past, just let it go. And start working on you. That's the only thing you need to be focused on. Just start working on you right here, right now. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Listen, that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. Listen, it's your boy Brad, B-Rad Butler II. And as always, I love you. And I encourage every last one of you to make your next day your best day. Peace. I'll see you next week.